it's me, MC of Healthy by George. I come every week to talk about all the things that we need to think about to grow older and keep thriving well into our much older years. Today, I want to talk about this concept called ghost fat. And I really have to say how I related to this concept. And I'm wondering if there's other people out there who had a history of being overweight and now they've lost some weight and they're struggling still to feel different or new in their bodies. That's me. So think about subscribing. I'd love to see you here every week, and let's join in a conversation about how we can support each other so that we can be the very best version of who we are as we grow older. So please subscribe, click that like button, share. I love being involved and having conversations about what you're doing daily to be the best version of who you are as you grow older. So what do we mean by ghost fat? Listen, I tell you what, when I saw the title of this article, that it is really fascinating because I related to it so amazingly. And a lot of it is this concept of what is the unseen elements of what happens when you lose a lot of weight. I've recently lost 55 pounds, and yet something about your body's perception of who you are hasn't changed. I talked about this last week because I tried on a bunch of clothes and was getting rid of over 30 pounds of clothes. And this week I'm finding that I'm suffering from being haunted by my ghost fat. And I really feel like this is true. I think when you've been overweight all your life and you've struggled, you carry a lot of garbage in your mind about your body, about what you look like, of how you feel in your clothing. You carry a lot of real old stuff that's difficult to let go of. And I know that this is something that I'm struggling with. And it's really difficult, but I think I really felt like this is true for me, that I have this phantom fat, this ghost fat, this sometime old body image that I can't shake, even though everything about what I've accomplished is still present. There's this looming fear that somehow if I eat a Twinkie or something, I somehow will suddenly balloon back up to where I was. And worse, because that's what everyone says. You lose the weight and then you gain it all back. And that's really not what I want this time, truly. I want to stay present in the body that's here right now. I want to feel how my body feels in these clothing. I want to see how strong I can feel, how vibrant, how physically engaged I can be in my life in this lighter body. I think that's really what I'm struggling with, because research has shown that when individuals have lost weight who have had obesity for a long time, they somehow have a challenge in perceiving themselves as successful, as somehow able to perceive themselves in this new way, as a lighter body, that they've habituated to the way that they were appearing. I think that sometimes you'll see people who wear the baggy clothes for too long. I know that it took me a while to get rid of the clothes, and it's very difficult to see that this whole process, it takes my brain and my body to catch up. I don't feel like I know and understand how to be in this lower amount of weight body or lower size. And I think I still carry around the stigma of what people used to think and say and feel about my body. You know, how they would say things like, oh, your face is so beautiful. Or they would say things about, if you could only lose some weight, when I would do an audition and sing, and they would holler out, could you lose 30 pounds? So it is very difficult to really let go. And I think a lot of it has to do is we're surrounded by all these images of super thin people. And there's this concept in social media and in just any media. Look at all the magazines. I think there's some movement in the plush, rounder figure, but it's still not very much. It's a sliver. I don't know about you. And that if you lose weight, somehow it's magnificent. But the truth is, our body image is not just one thing, it's many things. It's more than what in a mirror, it's more than what you feel in your body. It's how we've really perceived ourselves, our physical selves, our emotional selves for most of our life if you've been someone who was overweight since an adolescent. And that's my story. I felt extraordinarily teased as a younger person. I didn't feel oftentimes that there was value in who I was as a person who was overweight. And that sometimes no matter where I would feel like I was the fattest person in the room. I think that's what always showed up. And now I'm still carrying around these thoughts and feelings. And it feels hurtful, and it feels I'm perpetuating something that's not truly supportive in general about who I am. And that I want to move my perception back to thinking I'm good just as I am right now. And before, when I was overweight, I was still the same person. I was just fatter or bigger size. That's all. And truthfully, I recognize the health challenges that I had as a bigger person. And I see more realistically now as a smaller person, not that small. I'm not in the BMI area of normal, that I still would like to lose more weight because I really want to optimize my health and wellness. But I also have to recognize that this comes with an internal and mental struggle. And it is about shifting how I think about myself, how I feel about myself, how I move, how I'm putting together concrete actions to be in touch with what helps me stay in touch with my body and my physical image. It's still difficult for me to look in the mirror when I try on clothes. It's still difficult for me to have a full-length mirror. I don't know about you, but those are things that I struggle with. All my life, I'm comfortable looking at myself from up to here. Maybe one of these days I'll do a full-length video and I'll get some courage. I'll try. It's not there yet. Maybe in a month. I'll make a month goal to do a video with me at a distance. I think that might be a good goal. But it is difficult to understand how to balance this pervasive thought process that I've had for myself all these years and understand that there's also a genetic component, that there was weight issues in my family on my father's side. And that I also have to recognize that I have some trauma in my life and that there is a depression or a mental kind of PTSD issue that I have to manage as well. And all of these things demonstrate that it's common in individuals who've been overweight to have these issues, especially if they had to lose 50 pounds or more. And that it's really a challenge to shift some of these beliefs. I also know that, I don't know if you understand the concept of dissociation, that many years I was just a walking head. I didn't really actively acknowledge my body. I just dissociated away from it. In some ways, that was a saving grace at the time. It helped me manage and stay active and performing and not feel the depth of pain that would happen when I would get rejected or I would be criticized or I would be somehow told that I'm not acceptable because of my size. So my dissociation really let me breeze through, but it came at a price. It came at a price because if you're not in touch with your body, you don't recognize fully the things that you need to do to keep your body healthy. Like I wouldn't go to see the doctor. I wouldn't follow up to see the dentist. I wouldn't go and see my OBGYN. I really was not being someone conscious and beneficial for my health and well-being. So I really relate with this concept of ghost fat. And I'm thinking of innovative ways that I can let my ghost phantom away, let go, let them ride off into the ether like ghost fat. My phantom fat, because it's heavy to carry that around. Even though I physically am not carrying around the ghost fat anymore, I'm carrying around the ghost feelings of that fat that I carried for years. And I'm ready to really let that go. So how about you? What are you carrying around? It doesn't have to be fat sometimes. Sometimes it's about how we relate to food, how we relate to exercise, how we relate to our bodies in general, and where we feel that they don't measure up. The truth is, our bodies measure up completely. They are phenomenal. I think that's why I enjoy being in science, because it is truly magnificent to see how adaptive our bodies truly can be. How about you? What about you and your adaptiveness? Where can you think more creatively and imagination of what you could do to change your self-perception about who you are, how you feel about your body, and what do you want your image to be in life? I know that for me, I love feeling creative and imaginative. So I'm going to go think about that of a way of a practice of letting go of my phantom fat. Maybe I'll come out with a meditation or some type of mindfulness practice. How about that? Would you enjoy something like that? And I can give it away to you. So be well, my friends. Think about subscribing. I'd love to see you here every week. Let's join in a conversation. Are you someone who has some emotional issues or some struggles around your body perception? Sometimes even the most perfect people. I have some friends who are really thin and they hate their fat, or they hate their bellies, or they hate their thighs, or they hate the jawline, or whatever. We all are so hypercritical of ourselves. But let's join together and really support each other to find ways to be creative about how we can be the best version of who we are as we grow older into those much older years. I want us all vigorous and thriving into our 70s, 80s, and 90s. Wouldn't that be terrific? That's my dream. How about you? Is it your dream? So think about subscribing, push that like button, share, and I'll see you next week at Healthy by George. This is me, MC. Bye-bye. So thank you so much for joining me at Healthy by George. I hope you found the information inspiring and that it encourages you on your wellness journey. Because remember, your body, your well-being are a most precious gift, and every tiny action taken daily can make a huge difference. I hope the information here is educational purposes and is not meant to replace your medical care. See your doctor and talk about what works for you. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continuing creating content that inspires and empowers you to live your best life. Goodbye for now, and join me again at the next Healthy by George.